county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. We beseech you, Lord, with your pen and paper as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Ready your blessing to send upon us assembled here, and that we treat and consider all matters that will come under our preparation in so just and the faithful manner as to promote your and glory, and to advance peace and prosperity and the welfare of our country and of those who see. Amen. Honourable members, welcome to today's sitting, today being Thursday, 29 August 2024 at 2:30 p.m. I now elect the clerk at the table to take us through the orders of the day.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Our visitors at the gallery feel most welcome for this session. As I can see the members of the 40th state, and I can see new faces. You are most welcome. Next order. Next.
Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Machuki, the chair, select committee. Clerk, put the other one off.
I stand before this honorable house to table a report on the select committee on the revocation of a Kisii in accordance to Section 23 of the County Assembly Service Act 2017. I table.
Honourable members, I now commit the report to the House Business Committee for allotment of time, and I now suspend the House for 1 hour to allow House Business to do their work. Honourable members, pursuant to standing order number 29, the House now resumes interrupted business. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion, approve of select committee report by Honorable Ibrahim Machuki, Chairperson, Select Committee.
Honorable Chair Machuki.
Mr. Speaker, for the sake of our visitors, I am Ibrahim Machuki, MCA Principal Getaurio, stapling the report. Mr. Speaker, before me is a 67 pages report, and with your permission, I will request that I make some summary in some of the parts so that I will be able to save on time. Service established pursuant to Section 12(3)(d) of the County Government Act number 17 of 2012 and Part 3 of the County Assembly August 2022, and in line with the provision of Section 22 of the County Assembly Services Act number 24 of 2017, Omariba Nyaoga from discharging his duties as of the office of the Clerk of the County Assembly of Kisii as part of disciplinary process on the ground of number 24 of 2017, the board invited Honorable James Omariba Nyaoga, filed a letter, Assembly Section Act number 24 of 2017, which says if the clerk does not furnish a reply to the judge itself, the board shall submit a notice of motion to the Speaker seeking that the County Assembly revoke the appointment of the clerk. Pursuant to Section 23 of the County Assembly Service Act number 24 of 2017, a notice of motion dated 20th August 2024 was tabled by the Assembly revokes the appointments of the clerk. Pursuant to Section 23(4) of the County Assembly Service Act number 24 of 2017 of the same Act, the Speaker referred the matter to the Select Committee of the Assembly consisting of 11 members and established in accordance with the standing orders 10 days, which, Mr. Speaker, was supposed to end tomorrow. So on the next page I've signed, we have signed on behalf of the committee an acknowledgement. The members of the committee are as follows: Honorable Machuki, the chair; Honorable Ibrahim Mongubo, vice; Honorable Nicodemus Omamba, member; Honorable Peter Gekanana, member; Honorable James Ungeria, member; Honorable Beatrice Makwaya, member; and Honorable Thomas Obari, a member. We were assisted by the following, that is Nancy Nyata, Committee Clerk; Grace Karagita, Committee Clerk; Nora Bosiboria, Committee Clerk; Bosibori Nyakaya, Committee Clerk; Brenda Nyamoya, Legal Counsel; Sarah Mokeira, Legal Counsel; Jared Maovi Hansard, and Duncan Natemo, Sergeant at Arm. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I seek to skip the pages that deals with the background and they mention majorly on the process of removal of the Clerk of the Assembly, and allow me go to the accusation that were brought before this House in a form of motion. I want to say that pursuant to the resolution of the board meeting of 24th August 20, that's on page 13, 2022, and in line with the provision of Section 20, 22, and 23 of the County Assembly Service Act number 24 of 2017 and other applicable laws, the board had suspended Mr. Nyaoga, as already said. And the grounds were gross misconduct and misbehavior. Details are given there. Violation of the provision of the Constitution, including Chapter 6. Details are also there. The violation and the provision of the County Assemblies Act 2017, they are also given there, and that takes us to page. Somebody's moving to page 40, but now from that report, the clear charges that I must read before this house are as follows. There were 3 in number. That is the gross misconduct and misbehavior. On 4th March 2021, about 100 members of the staff presented to the County Assembly Service Board a petition, County Assembly Service Board a petition that unearthed serious financial and non-financial irregularities and illegalities committed by the clerk when the clerk was invited to the board to make the allegation to this presentation. On these matters, he refused to be examined and to answer questions put to him by the board. Therefore, his conduct is deemed a gross misconduct, and as it contravenes Section 2343(1)(f) and the County Assembly Service Act 2017. I think the clerk again sanctioned unauthorized promotions, merged directorate, appointed the new staff without the express authority of the board, contrary to the County Assembly Scheme of Service, Section 25(1), and the County's Assembly Act 2017. The county violated Article 231(1)(a) 2010 by deliberately failing to facilitate officers attached to his office, in the office of the Speaker, negating public policies stipulated by Salary and Remuneration Commission via the Kenya Gazette Notice of 7th July 2017. Further, the clerk for the visual car denying the Speaker his privileges. On the month of August 2021, the interdiction of the 9 members because did not meet the legal procedural threshold. The board advised the clerk to expedite on the directives and went ahead to interdict more officers unilaterally stopped or withheld their salaries. On 26th May 2021, the office of the clerk facilitated the impeachment of the Speaker, which flopped in the floor of the House. However, the clerk went ahead to illegally declare the vacance of the office of the Speaker of Kisii County Assembly by way of Gazette issue on 2021, whereas there was a valid court order issued by the this amount to gross misconduct or misbehavior pursuant to Section 22 of the County Assembly Service Act 2017. The second judge was on violation functioning of the Speaker's office, ignored the court orders reinstating the Speaker's to office being the Speaker's office. Civil case application number 072 of 2021. In the same vein, he failed to money the work ticket for the official car of the Speaker, beginning A and C of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, including Chapter 6. Between the month of January and July, the clerk issued limited, harass and psychologically torture staff members, and some were maliciously given show cause letters and or stroke warning letters and to the County Assembly Service Board, contrary to Article 27 and 28 of the Constitution of Kenya, including Chapter 6. The clerk, upon being members and unlawfully and illegally administered, those were the allegations, yes, administered the and installed Honorable Prince O. Onuso, James of Mariba Nyaoga, irregularly authorized transfer of Kenyan shilling 1.8 million that were appropriated for wages to non-wages 1C of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. The amount transferred to this personal account was transferred amounted to an economic crime under the Anti-Corruption Act 2003. The clerk, Mr. James Mariba Nyaoga, as an accounting officer, failed to accommodate to unilaterally conducted financial transaction and committed public funds for the whole of 2021-2022 financial year without authorization or being accountable to the County Assembly contrary to Section 149 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. The last provision of the County Assembly Service Act 2017. And the details are, the clerk, being the secretary of the board, is ordinarily responsible to the chairman or chairperson of the board and the board for the general working and efficient conduct of the business of the service. However, he contemptuously ignored and disobeyed deliberately about the lawful instructions emanating from the office of the Speaker or the resolution of the board contrary to Section 17(2) and 3 of the County Assembly Service Act 2017. The clerk refused to be examined or answer questions put to him by the board through the Office of Internal Auditor, which conduct is deemed gross misconduct since the contravened Section 20, subsection 3, 22 PF of the County Assembly Service Act. The clerk again sanctioned unauthorized promotion, created new offices, merged directorates, appointed new officers without the requisite authorization of the board. As a result, irregularly or illegally administered the County Assembly scheme of 1 of the County Assembly Service Act 2017. The last paragraph on that part, the clerk on 13th August 2021 ignored the board's resolution filed 01/13/08/2021, where the board in its meeting reviewed and rescinded the earlier decision on it. The board's resolution was made upon realization that the process leading to the decision did not meet the minimum legal and procedural threshold. It advised these to be expelled from the Assembly records, but he ignored these directives and went ahead to interdict more officers without reference to the board. This amount to the violation of Section 22B and F of the County Assembly Service Act 2017. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I will wish to say that my committee relied a lot on the provision of the Constitution, the County Government Act of 2012, the County Assembly Service Act of 2017, among other laws of this country. I don't want to go to those details. Those details are covered. We have referred to them in detail, but including the standing orders. But I want to go on the record that we will expunged or remove the section on the not the public officer, the section on the human resource manual because of some technicalities. Can't ignore that part. Mr. Speaker, in our findings, we used two methods. One, we perused through some documentary evidences that we were able to get. Number two, we also got some oral submissions from various members. In total, we had 7 witnesses. I want just to name them without reading what they say. The details are there. One is Honorable David Combo, former or immediate former Speaker of Kisii County Assembly. He was examined, cross-examined, and re-examined. Then we also had Honorable Davin Onuso, who is the former Deputy Speaker of this House, and he also was taken through the same process. We also had testimonies from Peter Motandege. Peter Motandege is the currently in charge of library services, but in the period that we are talking about in this report, he was the Director Administration in charge of issuing offices, transports, and other related issues. The other one was Cyprian Arunda. He is an auditor. He was useful to this committee because he had some ideas on internal audit reports, as well as what happened to the circle issues that have been mentioned in this report. We also had a testimony from Moses Ratemo, Director the Clerk of Kisii County Assembly, together with his counsel, Mr. Odero, in that particular committee. He was taken through the same process. So, from the foregoing, Mr. Speaker, we had 9 issues for determination, and those are the ones I want to take you through. Number 1, whether or not refused to be examined or answer questions put to him by the board through the Office of the Internal Auditor, which conduct they deem across misconduct contravenes Section 20, subsection 3, and 43(1)(f) of the County Assembly Service Act 2017. That's number 1. Number 2, whether or not Mr. Nyaoga did authorize promotions, created new offices, merged the directorate, or appointed new staff without the requisite authorization of the board, as a result, irregularly and illegally administering the County Assembly scheme of service, contrary to Section 25(1) of the County Assembly Service Act 2017. Number 3, whether or not the action of Mr. Nyaoga undermines the smooth functioning of the Speaker's office, ignored the court orders, reinstated, let me start again. Whether or not the action of Mr. Nyaoga undermined the smooth functioning of the Speaker's office, ignored the court orders reinstating the Speaker to office, being the Court of Appeal in Kisumu on a civil case application number E072 of 2021. In the same frame, whether he failed to manage the work ticket for the official car of the Speaker beginning the month of March 2022, which action amounts to not only insubordination but also violation of Article 232, 1A and C of the Constitution of Kenya. Number 4, whether or not Mr. Nyaoga received the board resolution 5-minute 01/13/8 of 2021, wherefore the board in this meeting reviewed and decided its earlier decision on interdicting 9 officers, which board resolution was made upon which board resolution was made upon realization that the process leading to the interdictions did not meet the minimum legal and procedural threshold and advise that it is expelled from the assembly records, and whether he ignored the directive and went ahead to interdict more officers without further reference to the board. Further, the board took exception to this decision to interdict or discipline officers who had valid court orders restraining him from disciplining them, and proceeded and literally stop or withhold their salaries. Number 5, whether he proceeded to legally declare a vacancy in the office of the Speaker of Kisii County Assembly by way of the Gazette notice issued by the Kenya Gazette, number 5232, published on a special issue of 31st May 2021, and which later revoked, fully aware of the existing court order issued by the High Court of Kisii on 31st May 2021 on petition 10/2021. Number 6, whether or not Mr. Nyaoga is vicariously liable for misdemeanor committed by officer working under his instructions, since between the month of January and July 2022, officers masquerading the Staff Advisory Committee in his office, in his behalf, in several meetings, subjected other county assembly officers to constant intimidation, harassment, and psychological torture. Some of them were maliciously given show cause letters, warning letters, and others were interdicted without reference to the County Assembly Service Board, which is contrary to Article 27 and 28 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Number 7, members will bear with me, it's a long report, whether between 1st June and 20th July 2022, as an accounting officer, Mr. Nyaoga authorized the transfer of the Kenya shillings 1.8 million that was appropriated for wages to non-wages expenditure, contrary to Section 151(1)(c) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. Whether the amount was transferred to this personal account under the pretext that there was local travel allowance, he had claimed arrears, but actually was meant for transfer to the county assembly circle. Then number 8, whether or not Mr. Nyaoga, upon being served with the suspension letter, mobilized 2 board members, and unlawfully or illegally administered an oath that installed Davis Onuso as then the then Speaker, Deputy Speaker, as the Speaker, Acting Speaker of the County Assembly and Chairman of the Sabbath Board, contrary to Article 178 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Then lastly, whether or not Mr. Nyaoga, as an accounting officer, failed to be accountable to the County Assembly by ensuring that the resources of the County Assembly are used in a way that is lawful and authorized. Whether he unilaterally conducted financial transactions and committed public funds for the whole of 2021-2022 financial year without authorization of the board, or being accountable to the County Assembly contrary to Section 149 of the Public Finance. These were then the findings of the Select Committee. 1, Section 23, Section 20, Subsection 3 of the County Assembly Service Act of 20 provide for the procedural function of the clerk, and are subject to the Act and any other written law. The clerk shall encourage or her by the standing orders and practice of the County Assembly, he, under the direction of the Speaker, Section 43(1)(f) of the same Act provide the offense and the penalty under the Act. In that any person who refused to be examined before or answer any lawful and relevant question put by the board or the committee commits an offense and shall be liable on the conviction of or a fine not exceeding 50,000 shillings or imprisonment of a term of not exceeding 1 year or both. The committee established that since Mr. James Omariba Nyaoga refused to be examined and answer questions put to him by the board through the Office of the Internal Auditor, his conduct is deemed a gross misconduct since it contravened Section 20, subsection 3 and Section 43(1)(f) of the County Assembly Service Act 2017. That was one of our first finding. Number 2, the committee established that Mr. Nyaoga did unauthorized promotions, created new offices, merged directorates, and appointed new staff without the requisite authorization of the board. As a result, irregularly and illegally administered the County Assembly Scheme of Service Conduct Section 25(1) of the County Assembly Service Act 2017, and Mr. Nyaoga therefore contravened Section 25(1) of the County Assembly Service Act number 24 of 2017, which provides that the board shall formulate and disseminate to officers of the services scheme of services setting and conditions for appointment of officers. And the services shall be provided on appointment and confirmation of appointment of officers and other staffs. Promotion, resignation. You know the court order reinstating Mr. Speaker, then Speaker, to office being the Court of Appeal of the Sumu, is not only insubordination, but also violation of Article 232(1)(a) and (c) of the Constitution of Kenya. Number 4, the fourth finding, the committee established that Mr. Nyaoga on 31st August 2021 ignored the board's resolution 5-minute 0 meeting, reviewed and recited the earlier decision on interdicting some officers, 9 officers. This board made upon realization that this be expelled from the assembly records, but he ignored this directive and went ahead to interdict more officers without reference to the board. Discipline officers on the valid court order restraining him from disciplining them, and proceeded unilaterally stopped or withhold their salary. During the proceeding, Mr. Nyaoga'S suspension, his office took part before the House on 26th of May 2021, and he proceeded to illegally declare a vacancy in the office of the Speaker of Kisii County Assembly 232, published as a special issue on the 31st May of 2021, which was later revoked, and fully aware of the existing court on 31st May 2021. Finding number 6, the committee observed that as per the provision of the Constitution, every person has inherent dignity and the right to have the dignity respected and protected. Between the month of January and July 2020, subjected other county assembly officers to constant intimidation, harassment, and psychological torture. Some of them were maliciously given show cause letters, warning letters, and others were interdicted. Article 27 and 28 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Number 7, the committee established that the Honorable Davis Onuso on the 27th of May 2021. In Mr. Onuso's admission, he agreed to have been an acting speaker, and the further noted that Mr. Onuso was coerced into signing a letter of suspension, and no board meeting ever took place. Then number 8, 2022, authorized the transfer of Kenya shillings 1.8 million as arrears to his personal in the financial year 2021-2022, contrary to Section 43 of the Public Finance Management Act, regulation of 2015. Nyaoga is an economic crime under the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crime Act of 2003. Since the second, he failed to remit statutory deductions that were includes the loan repayments, deductions for Kisii County Assembly Service employees, thus subjecting them to unnecessary punitive bank penalties. The amount due to SACCO was later paid in the month of August 2022. Lastly, as per the Public Finance Management Act 2012, an accounting officer is accountable to the county assembly as for ensuring that the resources of the entity for which the officer is designated are used in a way that is lawful and authorized. Mr. Nyaoga, an accounting officer, failed to be accountable to the county assembly board by ensuring that the resources of the county assembly were used in a way that is lawful and authorized. He unilaterally conducted financial transactions and committed public funds for the whole of 2021 and 2022 financial year without authorization of the board, and being accountable to the county assembly contrary to Section 147 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. From our finding, Mr. Speaker, we as a committee therefore recommend as follows. Mr. Speaker, the Select Committee, having exercised its mandate under Section 23 of the County Assembly Service Act number 24 of 2017, find all the charges of the against the clerk, Mr. James Omariba Nyaoga, on the ground of gross misconduct and misbehavior, violation of the Constitution of Kenya, including Chapter 6, and the violation of the County Assembly Service Act number 24 of 2017, to have been substantiated and support notice of motion dated 20th August 2024 by Honorable James Ondari, Vice Chairperson, County Assembly Service Board, seeking that the County Assembly revokes the appointment of Mr. James Omariba Nyaoga as the clerk of the Kisii County Assembly. Before I seek to be seconded, Mr. Speaker, I still want to make an appeal that the House expurge the use of the ERAJ manual as a revision there. Now, Mr. Speaker, I ask Honorable Peter Moindi to second the report.
Yes, Honorable Peter.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I second.
Honorable members, I now
propose that this House approves the report of the Select Committee investigating revocation of appointment of Mr. Chemisi Omariba Nyaoga as the Clerk of Kisii County Assembly, laid on the table on 29 August 2024. Yes, Honorable Leader, minority.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the chance to rise and oppose this untimely motion that has a lot of political conjecture and very little in substance, Mr. Speaker. A lot that has been quoted here, Mr. Speaker, is the politics of the Second Assembly, where I know the Honorable Vice Chair of the Service Board and myself were in the same camp, and the said quoted person here, the former Deputy Speaker, Honorable Nuso, and Honorable Nderi and others were in the same camp, Mr. Speaker. When I look at his testimony, Mr. Speaker, that he signed an illegality, that is in chapter 6, he should not hold office, and also should stop holding office, because in his admission, he is saying he committed an illegality. And it's good that he has testified, and there is that evidence. Mr. Speaker, if you also look at the assertion by the former Speaker, Mzee Kombo, a man I respected a lot, and I want to assure you, Mr. Speaker, I supported him up to the end so that he should not leave office. And he is saying that the case that about these allegations about the indifference on Kisii ADH informed the committee that the matter is still in the court. So that means, Mr. Speaker, we are dealing with sub judice. Mr. Speaker, if you go through this year, what Honorable Kombo is talking about, the vehicle that was taken from him, and how the clerk denied him, Mr. Speaker, it's not the clerk who denied him access to his office. And on this one, I know you can agree. There was a strong team led by Honorable Nderi and Honorable Ismail, who were very strong. They denied the Speaker, who was not moved from office legally, to access the office. So, Mr. Speaker, what we are trying to do here, and I am happy it's coming for discussion, so that we can create what we call order.
Yes, point of order, Honorable Nderi.
To the office.
Point of order, Honorable Nderi.
Honorable Speaker, this is a very emotive motion, but Honorable Leader Minority should actually stop imputing improper motive, that I have the powers to stop anybody from accessing the office, Honorable Speaker. And I think, Honorable Speaker, it needs to substantiate by tabling the evidence before this House that I ever stopped anybody from accessing. If he cannot, Honorable Speaker, I request that he is able to withdraw and apologize to me and to Honorable Ishmael Matundura.
Honorable Leader, can you substantiate, please? Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, unless he wants me to withdraw that we were... No, it's okay. Unless you want...
Order. Honorable members, remember Honorable Nderi and Honorable Ismail have been mentioned. and Honorable Monderi wants the leader to...
And I'm responding, Mr. Speaker.
Order. So, proceed.
Yes.
Proceed. Honorable Ismail, point of order. And you say the order.
I'm standing under order number 87. Yes, statement of fact.
Honorable,
Statement of fact, Honorable Speaker.
wait your time and you make that your comments, please.
Standing order number 87.
Please note the market.
Fact of statement, Mr. Speaker, sir, alluded by a member in the floor of the House. Honorable Speaker, I am conversant with the motion that is under the floor of the House, on the floor of the House. Mr. Speaker, I've gone through the motion. Nowhere I'm mentioned as a witness or accuser or the accused or the witness, Mr. Speaker. And we are supposed to discuss the motion. Now, the Honorable Lee Ombach is discussing what he did in the last assembly, Mr. Speaker, sir. So if he has nothing, if he has nothing, or if you knew anything, he could have come to the committee, selection committee, and give evidence. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. I request that you direct him to apologize, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, leader, just get seated. Honorable members, just get seated. Honorable members, this is a report of the select committee like another report. We are not here mentioning other honorable members' names unless it's in this report. Kindly let us trade in the report and we decided mentioning other honorable members. Proceed, leader, for a few minutes. And once, no, that's why I'm giving him time to substantiate and withdraw.
Mr. Speaker, I'm well advised. And Mr. Speaker,
why can't you withdraw first, please? Okay, point of order, and you mention which order, leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm understanding order number 105, that the said member who have been named may be suspended from the assembly if you do not rule that the Honorable Mbachi be named, withdraws that, Mr. Speaker. Or else we name in understanding order number 105, Mr. Speaker, we suspend him.
Did already, I have given Honorable Mbachi to substantiate and
tell him to withdraw. We name him, Mr. Speaker.
That's what he's doing. Proceed, substantiate and withdraw even if you feel it is wrong.
Mr. Speaker, the procedure of the House is once a member has risen on a standing order, 87, you have not even me a chance to say that. And Honorable Leader of Majority, let us avoid threats. We are here on equal capacity to debate. So, Mr. Speaker, to the extent I referred to my good friends, is that I said we were together in the second assembly, Mr. Speaker, together with Honorable Nuso, and Honorable Kombo was our speaker. That's what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker. I've not, how can I substantiate the fact that we were in the second assembly?
Leader, order.
So what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker,
leader minority, order, no leader majority, order.
Yeah, give me a chance to prosecute my case, Mr. Speaker.
You cannot do it when you are making noise. I think as this House, we are forgetting the rules of our standing orders. And I am reading this for the benefit of doubt. that I may not allow any member to go against our standing orders. Standing orders number 99, and I want to read. Whenever the speaker or the chair of committee license any member then speaking or offering to speak shall resume his or her seat, and the county assembly or the committee shall be silent. It is very clear. Once I have decided to stand, all of you, you must please. And that is the law, that's the standing orders guiding us in this house. Honorable Leader Minority, you have mentioned Honorable Nderi advisory, and it is your time to withdraw.
Mr. Speaker, I have said to the extent that they stopped the speaker, that I withdraw. But I cannot withdraw the fact that we were together in the second assembly, okay, Mr. Speaker. And I also want to confirm, proceed. Yes, I want to confirm that I was in the second assembly with Honorable Muracha. Mr. Speaker, as well, and this is on record as well, Mr. Speaker, these issues of people in office making certain decisions are obvious. A case in point, Mr. Speaker, is that sometime at the end of last year or this year, from your office, using the powers given to you, you withdrew the vehicle given to the Commissioner of Minority. And Mr. Speaker, we didn't raise any issues because that was...
Order. Leader of Minority. I think I will not allow that because I am the chair of the service board where I was serving with then my member, and who is now currently my member. The vehicle or the mechanical problem, when you are alleging as if you are in the service board that I withdraw, can you show me that letter? Because it is long. And when you stand here, honorable members, we are not discussing people. Concentrate on the report which has been brought us here. The removal of Nyaoga'S. Honorable Leader Minority, you have, it is wrong. Can you withdraw that statement? No, withdraw that statement, Honorable Leader. It is wrong.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw that.
Proceed for 2 minutes. Proceed, Leader.
I'm not here to fight, Leader.
Leader Majority.
I fight with debate, not on words. I'm not a physical fighter.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker.
Don't be mentioning people.
Yes.
Let us discuss the report of the select committee.
Mr. Speaker.
That. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, let us have decorum. Yes. Now, you cannot reduce by minutes. Okay. Now, Mr. Speaker, let me give you the reasons why this motion cannot stand. This is a motion that is not clear on facts. It's only very clear on the reasons that Honorable Nyaoga or Mr. Nyaoga used human resource manual. Mr. Speaker, the second assembly passed a strategic plan which gave birth, and I was part of the team, and I'm sure the honorable members who are there, we passed, which gave the management team, birth management team, and then they were to make offices, conscript some, and reduce some, Mr. Speaker. So I can see that he created offices. And Mr. Speaker, about even the assertion about Honorable Kombo, Mr. Speaker, I want to say, when it comes to this area about politics, Mr. Speaker, the governor of the day at that time had a say who became the speaker. And Mr. Speaker, some of these issues we are handling here are politics, Mr. Speaker. So I want to say that if I quote these two gentlemen, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, Dr. Josephat Karanja, as our Vice President of Kenya, when he was being impeached, Mr. Speaker, he said, common decency has been thrown through the window and has regretfully been replaced by political thuggery and vindictiveness. Honorable Ken Matiba, one of the renowned Democrats in this country, said, Mr. Speaker, 2 wrongs, not even 1,000, do not make a right. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Nyaoga has worked tirelessly for this assembly. He's worked for more than 10 years. He's the one who instituted this assembly. He's done all this development that is here. He's a human being. He could have erred. Mr. Speaker, he's remaining with only 2 years to retirement. This is a person who has a family. Mr. Speaker, what I thought the committee led by my friend, my able chair of agriculture, Honorable Machuki, was to say, can we find an exit strategy for this man who is a Kenyan, who is a man from Kisii County, who has served diligently this house, a very intelligent man. Instead of destroying him, let us get an exit strategy for him, Mr. Speaker. This is a house that is supposed to protect people, Mr. Speaker. This is a house that's supposed to give life to people who seek employment, Mr. Speaker. Let us not go to the annals of history, Mr. Speaker, as a house that everything that comes here is only to remove people from office. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. And I mentioned this to the leader of majority when he brought this to me to inform me. I said, for me, impeachment is never a solution in a society where we live. Mr. Speaker, we can find an amicable way of resolving our problems. Mr. Speaker, if a motion of impeaching any other person comes here, Mr. Speaker, as House of Representatives, take Nyaoga to be your brother, it could be your father, it could be your brother. Let us be your brother's keeper, Mr. Speaker, and let us not kill this man. He has suffered enough for the last 2 years. He's not in office. And Mr. Speaker, I want to urge the honourable members to support this man for the sake of the welfare of this house. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I oppose.
Honourable members, I have given Honourable Mbach a lot of time because he's the leader of minority. And now I am going to limit timing because every member want to contribute. At least 2-3 minutes now for you, so that we give others also time to contribute. And once you have contributed, be sure I will not give you another chance. Because this is the same issues. Honorable Ndadi. You know, okay, point of order. And you say order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I raise on standing order number 95. Mr. Speaker, which says, order shall be maintained in the County Assembly by the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I kindly request my fellow honorable members that we try and maintain order and decorum. We have members of the fourth estate here, and let us not be copied as a house of heckling, Mr. Speaker. Everyone can get a chance to speak, Mr. Speaker, if you allow, that they will speak at their own time when we have a chance, but we reduce and do not become hecklers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Buhari, Honorable Ndadi, no Honorable Sonia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On the onset, I stand also to support the motion which has been tabled before us. And on the first instance, I want honorable members, let's realize one thing. If there is a wrong, that wrong still remains to be a wrong. This House and the members who we had appointed for purposes of going to interrogate this motion, they have done their work, and let's congratulate them for what they have done. In the circumstance, Honorable Speaker, as the motion was being read by the chairman, I realized that there was somebody who had taken the powers to himself, not even realizing that there is somebody that he was answering to. And if we continue on that line, that we reach a stage of trying to seek lenience on that person, this will be very wrong. My position is let the law take let the law take its course, and I want to be very clear. Either you steal a stone and somebody steals a car, it means so we cannot say this thief who stole a car or who stole a stone, he has not stolen. Let the law take its course. And the lastly, Honorable Speaker, kindly as per the orders given in this. Let not somebody usurp the laws or usurp the powers to himself, and then we say that let's go on that line. For example, the person who was brought in, Honorable Nyaoga, usurped all the powers and removed the service board. It was not working. Is this the way that we want to do? And the current service board also to be removed. And when he comes in, he usurps all the powers. Honorable Speaker, kindly, let's support this motion to the end and everything follow its own way. Oh, thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Ismail.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the report, Honorable Speaker, and I will limit myself to the charges against the interdiction of the 9 officers. Honorable Speaker, my colleague, Honorable Ombachi, Leader Minority, is being aggrieved over one person now is on trial, one. But let me speak of the 9 staff that were illegally impeached by the clerk in question, Honorable Speaker. The committee, the report is here, it's very clear, confirmed from the service, the allegation that was raised by the service board where the clerk sits, that he interdicted the 9 staff, and these are the children of the families, these are the family members, these are the fathers, these are the mothers, and they belong to the society, Honorable Speaker. They have people whom depend on them, Honorable Speaker. And these are the children who are taken to school and they have secured themselves a job here in the County Assembly, Honorable Speaker, to take care of their family and themselves, Honorable Speaker. Now I'm worried why the Honorable is being aggrieved that this one person is calling him a human being, a human, are the 9 staff members dogs, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is testimony from the witnesses that appeared before the select committee confirming that there were intimidations, Mr. Speaker, sir, and even the board itself, Mr. Speaker, sir, the report that came through the notes of motion, that he did it as a person, on a personal level. It was not the decision of the board. And there is laws that speaks against that, Mr. Speaker, sir. As the Assembly, what we are looking at is the law that was violated, Mr. Speaker, sir. We are not discussing individuals here. We are looking at the law, Honorable Speaker. And he violated that law. He violated the rights of the 9 staff members, Mr. Speaker. Even after the board, by the 10 Speaker and the other members, making a decision of rescinding the earlier decision because they got that the clerk did it contrary or without the consent of the board, without following the procedure. And then the board rescinded or reversed the earlier decision, but he could not honor. Honorable Speaker, we don't work that way, even in our families, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support the report.
Honorable Ndari.
Mr. Speaker, I also stand to support the motion by first saying, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the board, I'm the one who brought the motion to this house. And I want to thank the committee, the select committee, which has come with these recommendations, Mr. Speaker. That means they are approving that what the board did, Mr. Speaker, they did a good job because they are affirming that all the allegations, Mr. Speaker, are true. And that's why I want to thank the select committee for doing such a wonderful job, Mr. Speaker. And that's why I'm saying I want to support this motion by saying one reason, Mr. Speaker. When the leader of majority stood, Mr. Speaker, he dwelled so much on issues which are not even in the report, Mr. Speaker. The leader of minority, I'm sorry, leader majority, I'm so sorry, he dwelled so much on issues which are not in the report. And in this house, Mr. Speaker, honorable members are supposed to debate with facts, Mr. Speaker, so that you can be able to convince Mr. Speaker, people, so that these honorable members, so that they can vote. Mr. Speaker, I have just only one reason, because we have so many members of the assembly who want to contribute, Mr. Speaker, where I see the clerk of the assembly, his appointment must be revoked, Mr. Speaker. When I read this report in page 64, Mr. Speaker, they say the committee established that Mr. Nyaoga between 1st June and 20th July 2022 authorized the transfer of 1.8 million as arrears to his personal account that was not budgeted for in the financial year 2021-2022, contrary to Section 43 of the Public Finance Management Act, Mr. Speaker. If you read that act, Mr. Speaker, 43 says, an accounting officer may reallocate funds from the authorized use, but may not reallocate funds where, and this is where it is, Mr. Speaker, the funds are appropriated for transfer to another government entity or a person, Mr. Speaker. They are saying you cannot reallocate funds, Mr. Speaker, from an intended purpose, Mr. Speaker, to unauthorized, Mr. Speaker, where they are saying where the funds are appropriated for transfer to any government entity or a person, Mr. Speaker. A SACCO, Mr. Speaker, is a public entity. That money was allocated, Mr. Speaker, or was appropriated, Mr. Speaker, to be sent or to be transferred to the SACCO account, Mr. Speaker, so that members can get loans, Mr. Speaker. The reason why members save their money is to get loans, Mr. Speaker, which can assist them or can cushion them from the hard economic time. And around June, Mr. Speaker, and July, there is no money in government offices. And therefore, the SACCO will come in hand, Mr. Speaker, to assist them to get the loans. Decided to make sure he reallocates the funds which were meant for the SACCO, he reallocated to his personal account, Mr. Satemo. The accounting officer, when he was giving his evidence, he said, and you allow me open it because it is good to refer, Mr. Speaker, where Moses Ratemo was giving his evidence, he said this, allow me please. I'm sorry I had marked, but sometimes the pages can, it's not very clear. I marked somewhere. Yes, Mr. Speaker, this is where Moses Ratemo, when he gave his evidence, he said this, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Moses Ratemo informed the committee that as the Director of Finance, his responsibilities include, among others, financial planning, sourcing for resources, applying resources, and reporting. Mr. Moses Ratemo testified that the EUMI system is controlled in the finance department, but the final transactions are done by the clerk, who is the accounting officer. Mr. Speaker, he further said, informed the committee that he was aware of the 1.8 million paid to the clerk under wages. Mr. Moses Ratemo stated that the Kisii County Assembly Circle was to receive 1.1 million in the month of June, Mr. Speaker, but the amount was remitted in August 2022. And that money was received in June, at the end of June, but it was remitted to the circle in August 2022. Mr. Moses Ratemo testified that he could not give a compelling reason occasioning the delay of payment to the circle, since payments are made by the accounting officer. Mr. Speaker, the blame now lies in the accounting officer, because Mr. Moses Ratemo processed those forgers in the finance department, but the accounting officer is the last to pay, Mr. Speaker, and therefore Moses Ratemo was not able to give a reason why the delay not paying in June, and that payment came in August, Mr. Speaker. In fact, I said this, I'm finishing. Mr. Moses Ratemo stated that the payment for the circle for the month of June 2022 was processed as per the request of the Human Resource Office. The money was processed, Mr. Speaker. However, it was to the accounting officer who could explain to the committee on why the payment was never made to the circle. He further said, Mr. Speaker, that the committee, the payment of 1.8 million made to the clerk on the month of June was not budgeted, Mr. Speaker. Here, Mr. Speaker, an officer diverts funds meant for the circle or meant for any public entity, Mr. Speaker, and that matter is not in the budget, he pays himself, Mr. Speaker. That is against the Public Finance Management Act, Section 43, Mr. Speaker, which is very clear. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is not about getting a person with several wrongdoings, Mr. Speaker. He has done one. And Mr. Speaker, people suffered. At that time, people suffered. They never got their loans. The banks had some penalties on their remittances or their payments, their monthly payments, Mr. Speaker, and therefore the members suffered. And therefore, Mr. Nyaoga must suffer for this, Mr. Speaker. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, allow me to say one thing. At the time, Mr. Speaker, when Nyaoga was the clerk, even if it's not written here, Mr. Speaker, but intimidation is here, Mr. Speaker. Workers never, when they saw Nyaoga coming in the office, Mr. Speaker, they can run away and they cannot wait for him. But nowadays, Mr. Speaker, the clerk who is there,
that one is not
they can, Mr. Speaker, mix with other people freely, Mr. Speaker, without any issue. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I say he must go home.
Honorable Boss, I have already ruled him that is not in the report.
Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. But we already agreed that each member, regardless of your age or time in this assembly, should take at least 3 minutes. But I've seen my good friend, Commissioner, who is among the engineers of this motion, taking again 10 minutes. So, Mr. Speaker, that's why I was being interested in trying to alert you. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that this is a sad day for the generations and the career people of this county government. Because, Mr. Speaker, in the last impeachment we had here of CEC, Dr. Ndemo, we all of us unanimously agreed that never again shall we destroy careers of our brothers and sisters, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the clerk is disturbing you and I'm addressing you. Honorable Speaker, protect me from the brother to Nyaoga, Honorable Richmond.
No, there's nothing you are being protected. Contribute to the report.
He's attacking me, Honorable Speaker.
Just proceed.
He's attacking me and I'm talking. It's not allowed. Honorable Speaker, and you know he's a brother to Nyaoga. Honorable Speaker, I wanted to say that Section 22 of the County Government Act, Honorable Speaker, number 24 of 2017, provides that the board may suspend or remove from office the clerk for quite a number of reasons. One of them being gross misconduct, incompetent. Honorable Speaker, I have gone through the report. I have not seen any minutes of the board that purports to have removed Honorable Nyaoga from office, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, me and you knows that Honorable Mr. James Nyaoga has been out of office for 2 years in suspension, Honorable Speaker. And we are discussing this matter after 2 years, Honorable Speaker. It is a clear face of futility, malice, and witch hunt, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to say, I am urging the honorable members, because politics is a generation, Honorable Speaker. Acts of politics, decisions of political leaders must rotate and they come back to you. If they don't come back to you, they come back to your children or grandchildren, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm urging the House that we must bring to an end the issue of discussing impeachment, Honorable Speaker. Because, Honorable Speaker, tomorrow it is Nyaoga, and the other day somebody, and that is what we want to say no. As Honorable Boss, the representative of Masimba, I have said, even if it is the impeachment of Governor Simba Paulo Arat, Honorable Speaker, or Nyanumba Daktari, I will not want to be part and parcel, because that will destroy your career, and you are a doctor. You will never be employed in any other office, Honorable Speaker. So I stand to object and desist and reject this motion, Honorable Speaker. Nyaoga must stay.
Thank you,
for the welfare of this House, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
For the careers of people who have served in Kenya, Honorable Speaker. Nyaoga must stay.
Get seated. Honorable members, order, order, order. You know, I have given him time so that he can expose himself. That's why he don't come to the assembly. He's always absent from the assembly. The report which is here, it is on the courtesy of the service board. If you want the minute, come to the service board. So be guided, your boss, when you are contributing as much as you want to assist somebody, which is okay, but just be guided and talk facts. The report which was here was tabled by the vice chair of the service board, and that is why we are here. Order. Leader majority. Don't propose. Proceed, leader.
Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, from the onset I stand to thank you, Speaker. Boss, who is my Form 1 in high school, Mr. Speaker, at Kisii School. And Richmond, I could like that you leave Boss alone so that he can listen to this. I want to invite him to page 18, paragraph 4. On the month of August 2021, 9 employees. These are women and men who have families, just like Nyaoga'S. The cases that you are saying that have come, they have come from here, this paragraph, to haunt Nyaoga. And to finish impunity from must go. So, Mr. Boss, Honorable Boss, when you are talking through the chair,
The chair.
Thank you, Speaker. I'm addressing Honorable Boss through the chair. That, Mr. Speaker, let us not be partial. We are honorable members. Nyaoga is one of us, and the 9 employees who you are serving now with in this assembly are your brothers and sisters. Nyaoga interdicted them without following the law. Today, as you've said, it has come to haunt him because of these 9 employees. And Mr. Speaker, this ground alone is enough for us to send this man Nyaoga home. And I'm asking Mr. Speaker, let us not debate a lot. The votes are here. Give us enough time, because I'm seeing that he's heading to 6, Mr. Speaker. Allow us send this man home so that he can go and train him to behave, not to interdict other people wherever he will go to work. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Your Honorable Majority Whip.
Mheshimiwa Spika, Waswahili husema damu ni nzito kuliko maji. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nalenga kiongozi wa walio wachache wakati naona akitetea mwandishi Nyaoga. Mimi Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka kuunga mkono ripoti ambayo imeletwa na kamati ya utafiti bila walifanya utafiti yao. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi tumekaa na mwandishi Nyaoga miaka 10, Mheshimiwa Spika, naye tukifanya kazi pamoja kwa hili assembly. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, nashangaa sana kuona kiongozi wa walio wachache akisema kuhusu mwandishi Nyaoga, na hapo awali tukiwa na mwandishi Nyaoga hapa, Mheshimiwa Spika, kiongozi wa walio wengi wakati huo alikuwa mwenyekiti wa Pacheti, alikuwa analia kila wakati, anasema huyu sijui nini, huyu sijui hawezi kunisaidia hivi na hivi. Lakini sio hayo Mheshimiwa Spika, wacha niende tu niingie na yangu. Mheshimiwa Spika,
order, proceed please.
Mimi nataka nikuambia Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa kusema kweli kamati imefanya utafiti yao vile inatakikana. Mheshimiwa Spika, kama mwandishi Nyaoga angekuwa hapa hii miaka 2 tumekaa kwa hili bunge, wewe ungekuwa umekaa hapo kwa hiyo kiti mahali unakaa Mheshimiwa Spika, na nakuambia ukweli, wale tulikuwa nao ile kipindi imepita, hata ile ya mwanzo Mheshimiwa, wanaelewa, wanajua. Tulikuwa na spika alikuwa anaitwa Keros. Huyu mwandishi Nyaoga alikimbiza yeye Mheshimiwa Spika, mpaka hata Kerosia karibu kutoa nguo hapo juu mahali umeketi. Anamwambia atakutolea nguo ndio nitoke nje. Mheshimiwa Spika, tukuje jana kipindi chenye kimepita, tulikuwa na spika alikuwa anaitwa Kombo. Kombo hakuketi kwa hicho kitu kwa miaka 3, aliketi miaka 2.5. Nyaoga ndio huyu anakimbiza yeye usiku mchana. Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nataka niseme kwa kusema ukweli, huyu mwandishi Nyaoga, hata mkisema eti tukienda sijui tukipitisha hivi na hivi lakini kama mtu wako vibaya, mwambie rana simurudie. Hizi rana yeye mwenyewe ndiye amechiletea Mheshimiwa Spika. Yale alikuwa anafanyia hata wafanyikazi hapa. Siku hizi wafanyikazi na kuambia Mheshimiwa Spika walikuwa anafanya zingine na uoga, hata MCAs hapa ndani Mheshimiwa Spika. Mimi nakuambia ukweli, walikuwa wanaabudu huyo jamaa. Walikuwa wanabaki nisaidie kwenda nje. Mheshimiwa Spika, nipatie safari niende. Msaisi ndio huyu.
Order, point of order.
Mr. Speaker, standing order number 87 has been used severally. And Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, 2 issues that the Chief Whip, who has been the Chief Whip since he came to this House, Mr. Speaker, since 2013. And there is the one I want to confirm who was molesting me in this House, Mr. Speaker. Can he substantiate whether he has done a research among the staff to confirm that they are happy now? Number 2, Mr. Speaker, can he...
Order.
Mr. Speaker,
order.
I also want him to withdraw. Where is it? I had a meeting with him, I know he's my friend, and Mr. Speaker, I want to confirm that the biggest relationship I have with Honorable Mbati is that we are good company.
Kama mimi naongea uongo, Mheshimiwa, naomba kiongozi wa walio wengi pia wewe Mheshimiwa uchukue ili naka. Angalia, Mheshimiwa Speaker wameandika hapa kwa Kiingereza na kuomba nisome vile imeandikwa. On 4th, Mr. Speaker, March 2021, about 100 members.
Honorable majority. The paragraph is self-explanatory.
Okay.
It is self-explanatory.
I don't need to read. Nilikuwa nataka nimwelezee Mheshimiwa Speaker kuwa kama wafanyikazi 100 wanapeana, wanalalamika, wanaenda kwa 100, sio 3, sio 4, sio 5, 100 wanalalamika, na sasa hivi wale wako hapo ndani ni 100 na zaidi, pia wanasema chameni, hata huyu Nyaoga'S chameni wachumbe tusaidie. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Speaker, nataka kumalizia kuwa hata angalia vile huyo chama alikuwa anakuja kutosa. Kama mtu anaenda anachukua pesa ya chama alafu anajitolea yeye mwenyewe kama ile, kwa nini kwa pagi yake anaenda kutumia kwa matumizi?
That is self-explanatory. Honorable Edina.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. I would like to suggest and I recommend that in the near future, when we have something in the House that is something to do with public interest, we'll go a public. There's a way we follow proceedings from the Senate or National Parliament so that people from the public can have an opportunity to table their memoranda, either table views. We can table views, not when people think that, relax, if English is hard.
Order. Time for Honorable Edina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for protecting me.
Order.
I'm saying,
order.
We represented Honorable Richmond. We represent the public.
Order.
So that in future.
Order. Honorable Edina, you are
saying this is of a matter of public interest. We use public resources. This was someone who was earning through public taxes. So when we're sending someone home because of gross misconduct,
thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I'm happy that you have protected my sister, Honorable Edina orders, whether we have both the plenary hearings and the committee hearings. But I wanted to inform Honorable Edina that for this very particular matter, it's a product of Section 23 of the County Services Act. That secondly, and as a way of information, Honorable Edina is also asking whether the public can be given an opportunity to present a memorandum. Honorable Speaker, I remember at the start of the works of this committee, an advert was put online to request any member of the public to be able to put a memoranda, and there was no memoranda by the time the committee was sitting, and therefore that was provided. Thank you.
Denzia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I would like to thank my honorable members for contributing. I personally am requesting you to put a question. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Order. That is wisdom. Honorable members, I now put a question, which is that this House approves the report of the Select Committee investigating the vocation of appointment of Mr. James Omariba Nyaoga as the Clerk of the Kisii County Assembly, laid on the table on 29 August 2024. Yes, Honorable Ndari, what do you have?
Maybe, Mr. Speaker, before you put a question, Standing Order number 65 provides some guidance. Unless otherwise provided under the Constitution, a question arising in the County Assembly shall be decided by of the members in the County Assembly present and voting, Mr. Speaker. And in this case, Mr. Speaker, on the removal of a person from office, Mr. Speaker, the ayes and the nays cannot be taken here, Mr. Speaker. We ask that we go for a division so that, Speaker, and there, Mr. Speaker, we can have records so that the Assembly, if it's guided well, Mr. Speaker, we can go for a division.
Honorable members, I think that is wisdom, because this is about an individual, as we have said, and as Honorable Ndara said. I now, honorable members, select that pursuant to Standing Order 68, 1B, members to rise in their place to support the member claiming the law court division. Can you stand if you would support that? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can get seated. Get seated. Order. 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 Honorable members, given that more than 5 members, order. Given that more than 5 members have risen in their places, I now direct roll call voting to be taken. Honorable members, because I have given enough time, and I even sat for 3 minutes, seeing if there is any member who wants to speak, and there was none. Honorable members, order. Honorable boss, can you inquire on voting? Can you inquire about the voting? The guy. Oh. Go straight to the voting issue you have raised.
Honorable Speaker, we have agreed that we go to division way. And that is not crystal clear on what is the threshold. Bearing in mind, Honorable Speaker, we are voting on the removal of a career civil servant who has served more than 30 years, Honorable Speaker. I simply want to know, Honorable Speaker, when you read the HR manual, which is also a legal document, Honorable Speaker. Honorable, can you stop these boys from...
Order.
Honorable Speaker, let me just finish the Kisii County Assembly manual.
Order. I have stood. Order. Order. I think, order. I think I don't want to use it. Order. Order, members. I don't know the best word I can use. When the chair was making his statement, he said very clearly that remove that clause. And honorable members, the HR manual is a working tool between the employer and the employer. It is not superior than the act and the provision of the standing order. And the chair said very clearly there were some technicalities. So I don't want to go back to the request of the chair. He was very clear, and let us respect that decision of the committee. Honourable members, we now proceed to voting. Honourable members, yes, point of information. I have not given you time.
Honorable Speaker, protecting from Honorable Boss, I wanted to inform the Honorable Member Honorable Speaker, I wanted to inform the Honorable Member from Masimba that the report before the Assembly is a report of the Select Committee on the revocation of appointment of the Clerk of the County Assembly of report that is relied on the HR manual. The ad hoc committee has brought a report here that relies on the service. Kisii County Assembly definitely speaks about the simple majority if you go through the act, and it's superior to the HR manual.
Honorable Contrary, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I'm requesting, Mr. Speaker, and even before I request, Mr. Speaker, Section 23 of the County Services Act, Mr. Speaker, number 8 says, if the Assembly approves a motion filed under this section, the clerk against whom the motion was filed shall be deemed to have been removed from office from the date the motion was approved. Mr. Speaker, I read earlier Standing Order number 65, which says, unless otherwise provided by the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, a question arising in the County Assembly shall be decided by a majority of the members in the County Assembly. It is very clear, Mr. Speaker, that if the Assembly is going to approve the motion, the clerk shall be deemed to have been removed from office. But Mr. Speaker, the Constitution
put it on the table on 29 August 2024 by the way of secret ballot. As men of the same opinion say aye. As men all of the contrary opinion say nay. The aye have it. Honourable members, we are now, yes, point of order, reader.
Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand under standing order number 27(3), that notwithstanding paragraph 1 and 2, this county assembly resolves to extend its sitting hours until the business is finished, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. I ask Honorable Ndari to second.
Honorable Ndari.
Mr. Speaker, I second that we extend the time until this business is over. Thank you.
Honorable members, this is not a business we can live on the way. I now put the question that we extend the timing until the business is complete. As many of the same opinion say aye, as many of the contrary opinion say nay, the aye have it. We will proceed even if it is midnight until we finish this business. Thank you. Honourable members, I now direct that the boxes to come here so that we proceed with the voting. Honourable members, no walking out. Close the door. But since you have sat for some few minutes, you can refresh yourself very fast. You know, never people have got gone out.
No, it's a clarification from you, sir.
Yes.
I just want to know who votes yes and who votes no.
We are going to give you the election.
Okay, thank you.
Members, majority whip, minority whip and the majority whip, can you whip honorable members? Minority whip, minority whip, can you whip members? Minority whip, minority whip, can you whip your members? Those who are outside. Honorable members, get seated, please. Order. 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 Honorable Teresa. Honorable Teresa, you are the minority whip and you are the one. Get seated, please, honorable members. Get seated. Sergeant Adam, you can close that door. Order, order. Yes, Honorable Bondari, what do you have? Order. Honorable Boss, why are you becoming?
Mr. Speaker, procedurally, Mr. Speaker, what we have been doing or we have been doing for members who are absent, Mr. Speaker, they have been voting by being called by your clerks, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I'm inquiring on behalf of about 2 men and Honorable Suja, Mr. Speaker. They are not present, but they could have been wish they can vote. And Mr. Speaker, this has been happening since we started this third assembly, Mr. Speaker.
That one is provided for in our standing order number 66, subsection 5. For benefit of doubt, I can read. A member who is not able to cast his or her vote due to any reason considered sufficient by the Speaker may, before the result of the division is announced and after obtaining the permission of the Speaker, have his stating whether he or she is in favor or against the question. Allow those who are not here to vote electronically. Honorable members, to do the work in front of us. Let me clarify one thing, that for those honorable members who want the revocation of the clerk, that is the clerk to be removed from office, they will vote yes. That's in support for the removal of the clerk. And those who are opposing that the clerk should not be removed, they should vote no. That is, they will be opposing that. I think it is very clear. If you want the clerk out, vote yes. If you don't want him to be out, vote no. Now, Sergeant Atam, nobody's supposed to go out. We finished the exercise of voting. I now direct the Sergeant Atam that the ballot box be opened, just show it to the members, just show it that there is nothing inside, that we are doing a transparent exercise. I think everybody is satisfied with that. And now, I think you can lock it, seal it in the presence of the honorable members. Thank you, honorable members. The voting booth is here on my left hand side. That's where everybody would come to make his voting. Honorable members, I now direct that the ballot paper be issued to each member who comes to the table to obtain it. To facilitate this process, honorable members, the names of each member shall be called, following which the member shall come to the table and obtain a ballot paper to come here and
Achira Ronald Ongala.
I think we are moved with this process in a nice way. Let us proceed. Proceed, clerk. No, order. Members. I don't vote the honorable member. Proceed.
Alfred Asande Ongoro. Arika Stephen. Ayema Paul Okombo. Bagaka Jacob Barongo. Batsheba Sanaya. Brenda Kenger.
Brenda Kenger.
Damaris Nyanchok. Evelyn Mora Mogire. Mogire, Evelyn. Fatuma Alio. Gaudensia Omariba.
Honorable members, Honorable Kind Magala is not feeling okay. We can allow him to vote and go home because he's sick. So Clerk at the table, after this.
Honorable Karen Magar. Yes. Fatuma ndio tumempatia.
No, dígale nada.
Gaudensia Omariba. Gaudensia Sigara. Kekanana Peter Moindi.
We can call him.
Make the loudspeaker. Go make it loudspeaker.
What are you here?
Proceed.
Gitea Brenda. Brenda Gitea.
Members, Grace still here in the assembly. Still the session is on. Kindly get seated as we continue with the voting. Others members, so that others can hear their names, please.
Isabella Waigara. Anthony Keraga. Masieka Jare. Lilian Omondi.
Just call her. Give Clerk that. And we get out speaker. Order.
Speaker.
Yes,
We are voting. Are you voting yes or no?
I'm voting yes.
Thank you. Proceed.
Lilian Gore. Majuki Ibrahim Morango. Mainama John Sambo. Maisiba John Makori Samuel Mauti. Matundura Ishmael. Michael Mokaya Amos Omweri.
Order. We are in the assembly. Canvassing is not accepted. Order. We are in the assembly. Leader. Order.
Moracha Henry. Moses Celestine Bonare. Mose Ibrahim Ongubu. Motume Michael. Nyabuto Dolphin Bweri. Nyabuto Edna Kwamboka. Nyambane Felix Ombati. Nyamwaya Shem. Nyarango Duke. Ochwani Ombachi Dennis. Ogugu Timothy. Okerio Peter Mokua.
Mheshimiwa, huko kwa loudspeaker tunapiga yes or no. Mheshimiwa Peter Okerio.
Peter has voted yes.
Okay.
Omwamba Nicodemus. Omwando Victor Umbasi.
Dagerida. Dageridi. Nyorai.
Smogo.
Hiyo. Kiu.
Ondari Joseph Sonye. Ongeri Jeremiah. Ongoba Naftali. Yaberi. Onsaga Christopher. Onyangore Abuga Vincent. Orina Nicholas.
Honorable Digimon, come and send you. Come.
Oyagi Asmund Cosmas.
Obstruction, Honorable Digimon, come. Obstruction.
Oyari Joseph Orok. Rabero Hotel. Rayori Manani Richmond. Ruth Nyagachanga. Saisi Nyagaka Onchoma.
She's heavy. What's from there?
Saisi Nyagaka. Teresa Dismas Ensemble. Vanis Moranya Mbani. Walter Obare Mochachi. Yobe Wilfred Manyani.
Honorable members, get seated. No, it's okay, Honorable Warder. Honorable members, get seated, please. Get seated. Honorable members, from our record, every member present has collected the ballot paper and voted. However, I still avail the opportunity for any member present who has not been called or who has not come down to collect the ballot paper and vote. Any member? I think every member has voted. Honorable member, I now try that the box be unlocked and the clerk to start counting. And if there is any urgent, plender for where? For yes. Then for no? Yes, Cosmas. Thank you.
Yes. No.
Sergeant, allow him
No.
to get out. And the boss.
No. Yes. 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 Spoil. Yes, marked vote. Yes. No. Yes. 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 No. Yes. 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 No. No. Yes. 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 No. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. Spoiled. No. Yes. 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 No. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. 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 No.
Proceed with counting.
For no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. For spoiled, 1, 2. For yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55.
How much 55,
13. Spoiled, 2.
Total.
Majority. So mojisoma iga ukorwo chiche
Utawana ngosa mali.
wasomulio ukorwe ochiche na bana ochichokorere.
The clerk at the Masanga, give me the counting. Order members, let's get seated. Honorable Richmond, Chair, Sport. Honorable members, on the question of the revocation of appointment of Mr. Chemisi Omariba Nyaoga as the clerk of Kisii County Assembly, the yes 55, the no 13, and the spoiled 2, total 70. Of course, the yes have it. But however, honorable members, Section 23, subsection 8 of the County Assembly Act number 24 of 2017 states that if the Assembly approves a motion filed under the section, the clerk against whom the motion was filed shall be deemed to have been removed from office from the date the motion was approved. Means now has been removed from the office from today. Honorable members, of course, having obtained a majority of votes of the members of the County Assembly, as I have said, Mr. Chemisi Omariba Nyaoga, his appointment as the clerk of the Kisii County Assembly stands revoked pursuant to Section 23, subsection 8 of the County Assembly Act 2017. Next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, we have exhausted the business of the day.
The House is adjourned until 3rd September 2024 at 9.